Hi guys, welcome to another interesting episode of Gist with SA. If you're joining us on YouTube, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. If you're joining us on Facebook, please don't forget to create a watch party so your friends can also be a part of the show. Today we have with us Debbie Akindele Ojo. She's an alternative health practitioner, a fashion mogul, and the owner of Extra Natural Organics and Every Woman Shop. I know that you guys, Every Woman Shop is quite popular, yes. And today she's going to be taking us through her COVID experience. Yes, she's had COVID and she survived it. So she's going to, take us through that journey, and then she's going to be sharing some tips on natural alternatives to healthy living. Hello, good evening, ma'am. Welcome to Gist with SA show.
Good evening.
It's nice to have you on the show. You look nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, before we get started, let me just say something that happened when I get the flyers for the show, I usually send to my husband, so if there's any just second eye and all of that, in case there are corrections and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sent him your flyer and he was like, who is this beautiful girl? And I said, she's not beautiful. She's not a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful woman. She just looks really, really young. And he was like, come on, how old can she be? I said, okay, I don't know how old she is, but I know that Lepashos Bosse, I call Lepashos Bosse auntie, and Lepashos Bosse calls her auntie. So that's for you to have an idea, that she's not a very young person. She just looks young. So, yeah, he was like, wow, that's great. So to start the program, can you tell us the secret to your youthful look?
Okay, well, I don't know whether everybody looks like this now, because I think people are taking care of themselves. I'm 52 in a few months, so wow. I guess that's not very young.
No, it's not. So you look really good for 52.
Yeah, we thank God. God is faithful. God is faithful. Making healthy habits help.
Okay.
If you make a healthy lifestyle a choice from early on, I think you reap the dividends later in life. There's a photograph behind me. If you look at that, that's me 38.
Wow.
And this is me. So basically, what you do is not change. Yeah, what you do, you shouldn't change, really. You really shouldn't change. If you do the right things, you shouldn't change. And the right things are the easy things. They're the simple things. They're the cheap things. Okay. So it's not like making healthy choices like they're not expensive to make health. Water is the cheapest drink you can drink. So drink a lot of water. Sure. Sleep is the cheapest entertainment. Get some sleep. Eat natural. It's always easier than synthetic.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. So there's no synthetic assistance to this your look. I'm talking about, like you said, a lot of people look this way now, but a lot of people are also using synthetic.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can hear you a bit now. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you now. Go on. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So you were saying that almost a lot of people look like this now, but I don't agree. A lot of people who still look young are using synthetic means. They're taking injections, they're doing lipos and all of that to keep their youthful look. So I was asking you, is there any synthetic thing that you're doing to enhance your look?
No, not at all. Because all of those things, my view, this is my personal opinion. This is not to knock anybody who makes a choice to have thing done. My choice is to be as natural as possible.
Okay.
That's the choice that I make. I've never had liposuction. I've never had a filler. You can see I can frown as I want. My brows move. I don't think surgery is something that anybody should take lightly. So surgery. I've had surgery thrice in my life. My children were by C-section, both of them. The only other surgery I had, I think, is a microscope. How do they call it? I don't know. Tubal ligation when I was done with children. So that's about it. I don't think that's surgery as such, because I think it's a keyhole surgery. They don't cut you open like it's not major surgery. So I wouldn't do surgery for beauty. That's the most ridiculous reason to have surgery.
Okay. So what gave birth to your alternative health practice?
It's not like something gave birth to it. I've always been like this. Okay, like it's in vogue now for people to drink lime, to drink lemon. My aunts, God rest her soul, Mrs. Gbemi Smith. Mrs. Smith used to drink Swedish bitters and lemon or lime in water and green tea in the mornings. I lived with her for some time. Then she lived with us after my uncle passed away. And that was 92, 93. That's about 30 something years ago. So I've been drinking that every morning for like 30 something years. So it's news to me that the world is suddenly finding that, I don't know, it's a way of life for me.
Yeah.
That's like breakfast for me. I don't do coffee. I don't like anything that affects that takes control from me. So anything stimulating like coffee or heavy caffeine drinks, I wouldn't do it. I like to be in control of my emotions. I like to be in control of my body. I'm very attached to my heart. I've only got one, so I'm not about to take anything that's going to stress it. My opinion is that the heart is the hardest working muscle in the body. It works all till you drop dead. It's working. So if there's something I can do to keep my heart healthy and give it as little work as possible, I'm going to do it. So I don't believe in I don't drink. I don't smoke. What else? I'm pretty boring, really. And you say
I don't think it's boring.
Well, for people that drink, you can be a bit of a downer. I mean, to the level of I don't do wine either. I don't like alcohol at all. So I don't like cigarette smoke. No, I don't do any alcohol at all. I don't like personally, I just don't like the taste of it.
Okay.
And it's not my thing. I don't like the taste of it. So it's not like I don't knock anybody their choices. And another thing I'm particular about, I don't take in secondhand smoke. I don't smoke, yes, but nobody's allowed to smoke around me. You cannot smoke in my house. You cannot smoke in a premise where I control, I own. You cannot. I don't do it. And this is not because of... The major thing is I react to cigarette smoke violently. It gives me a cough. It gives me it irritates my tonsils. So I don't have such things around me. And I think in the long run, because sometimes, research has shown that secondhand smoke is just as dangerous as smoking. So I don't have such things around me at all. So those things have helped.
Okay, so what about your early years? Because I know this is what I'm asking. You don't encourage it around you, but there are public places where, well, in England, there's no smoking in public gatherings anymore. You have to step out. But I know that in Nigeria, there are public places where people smoke.
I don't go to those places. I wouldn't. No, earlier on in life, when we were young, go to parties, they smoke. Yeah. Most people don't smoke inside; they smoke outside. Okay. I can't be near where they smoke because it's a health issue for me. Let me give you an example. I just came in from England last week, Saturday. Okay. I don't eat gluten because I react to gluten. So I got on the plane and they offered me this delicious looking lemon tart. And I thought, oh, I haven't had gluten about a year or 2 years. I've been good. Let's have a lemon tart. I had the first one. I had the second one. Do you know, I just bless God that they did not decide to check my fingerprints. Immediately I had that lemon tart. I went to sleep. My fingers became red and doubled in size. My fingers could not open my phone. He could not do banking. My fingerprints were distorted to a level that was crazy. And this stayed with me for like 3 days. Now imagine if I was entering the UK or America and those fingerprints don't go. How will I say it? That, oh yes, I ate lemon tart. You know, there's a balance when you live a healthy lifestyle. When the bad things get in your system, the reaction is so severe. And my daughter was just laughing because I wanted to buy. I mean, we came into Nigeria. She said, "Mommy, I want to buy some data." So I said, "Okay, let me use my GCB and buy you some data." And it was like, fingerprints not recognized, and it locked me out. Then my phone, fingerprint not recognized, and it locked me out. I just thought to myself, "Oh my God, what if they had asked me to just thumbprint?" It did not. All my fingers, and this lasted for like 3 days. So a healthy lifestyle, it's a narrow. It's a tightrope sometimes.
Okay, let's go to your COVID experience. It's really sad, that for the past 1 year, over a year now, the whole world, has been faced with this whole COVID situation, and a lot of people have died, sadly, and we don't have very many stories of people who actually caught it and survived. So I'm really intrigued by your story. What happened? Can you take us through what happened with you and, your experience with COVID?
Funny enough, this time last year was when I had COVID. It's about a year now.
Wow.
Yeah, because my son came back on the. Yeah, it's that you
beat it.
Yeah. Well, did I beat it? Does anybody actually beat COVID? There's a lot to that story that most people are not saying. I don't know whether I can say anybody beats COVID, because it takes such a toll on your body that there are consequences of COVID that I'm still facing now, and that's a year on.
Wow. Okay.
It does take it. It gives your body a major beating, and this is me, that I'm fanatical about living healthy. So I can't imagine what it would do to people that have real underlying issues.
True.
I mean, an amazing Nigerian just died today, COVID. I was surprised when I heard that one of the Afenifere leaders died today. Young, 59. Very sad. Very, very sad. Same COVID. A lot of people are surviving it, but the fact that they are surviving it doesn't mean that they should trivialize it and not take it seriously. I don't know what happened. I'm not a doctor. I mean, it's just sad. One of the reasons why I'm a very private person, that I don't talk to the public. One of the reasons why Lekwasio's boss convinced me to speak out was the fact that, how do you live with yourself? Many people are dying. If you have a hint or a clue that you could say that can save somebody's life, you should open up and say so. So let me go back to the question that you asked. My COVID story was, my son came in from England when everything was shutting down. I went to pick him at the airport. My suspicion was that there was a man that sneezed over me. I'm convinced, because that's about the only time I felt I was compromised. He just sneezed over. I was sitting down on a very low pedestal type thing, waiting for my son to come out of the baggage claim, and he sneezed. That was the only time I was compromised. I was wearing my mask, however. When I got home, what I did was that I collected his jacket, we cleaned everything up in the car, everything had gone to be sanitized. Everybody in the house did the head steam. We did that for like 3 or 4 days. But by day 6 or day 5, it was when I got sick. And I didn't think it was COVID, because this was around March last year. And at that time, the first person that was going to get COVID in Nigeria was some Italian man. I did not know the Italian man. I've never seen him. So it never occurred to me that it was COVID. So I just assumed that maybe I was ill.
Yeah.
And that I had malaria. So for me, it started with extreme light sensitivity and a bad headache, then severe body pains. I had that for like 4 days. And then one of the things I also noticed was that I was you are in one position for like that 4 days. I don't know whether, do you know those weighted blankets? I have one. I don't know whether you've heard of weighted blankets. Weighted blankets are blankets that they've sewn some iron or some things inside them that make them very heavy. So when you put them on your body, they force you to sleep. You can't turn when you're in a weighted blanket. It's something that people use for health if you're sleepy and you're restless. So they ask you to get a weighted blanket. So this felt like I had a weighted blanket on me, and I was so weak I couldn't get up. I could not get up. It was the headache. Okay, let me describe the body pain. Imagine I'm not a very big person. I'm a size 12 at best. Imagine I go and slap Mike Tyson and it gives me a disciplining session. That kind of, the kind of body beating, and then your head is aching. Then you can't look at lights. I couldn't look at light for like almost like 2 weeks. Everywhere, light sensitivity. Then I didn't, even then, by day 4, day 5, I still didn't think it was COVID.
Okay.
But by day 6, day 7, my husband asked me to hold my breath, because by that time he said I was looking really awful.
Wow.
That hold your breath. Let's see whether we can count 1 to 10. And then I couldn't count 1 to 3. That was when we realized that this thing might be COVID. Then I realized that my breath wasn't going all the way down. But because I had the history of asthma, I had it when I was younger. And my children had just gone past that. They're grown now. But they had, when children have ear, nose, and throats all the time. So I had nebulizers in the house. I had steroids to expand the lungs in the house. And when COVID started, because I knew it was a respiratory disease, I had everything that you need for a severe asthmatic or respiratory distress in the house. So as soon as I wasn't breathing, it was easy to go and nebulize myself. It was easy to take the drugs that would expand my lungs. And the head steam, I was doing it. I was taking turmeric tea. I was gargling like no man's business, because I know that from the research I'd read up on, it was a question of for it not to penetrate the lower lungs and mess up vital organs. So I was trying to, as much as possible, restrict it to throat up. Then I have a lot of, I do a lot of liposomal multivitamins. So I was on the highest doses of those. And I think my journey was about, the first time round was 10, 12 days. Because I know, I had it again.
Oh, you had it twice?
Oh yeah, by June I'd come back. I had it late June as well.
So how did you get it again in June?
Well, the jury is still out on that, because I went out, but no, I went out, but I was protected. It wasn't like I wasn't protected. And the one in June was the funniest one, because the first one I had headache, body pain, all the fever that they described. The one I had in June went straight from my throat. And that is the difference in life and death, because that one you get like you swallow, like the way I describe it, you swallow like 1,000 office pins. So everything is trying to attack your throat at the same time.
Wow.
So I just moved straight back to the guest room, isolation again. This time my brother didn't panic the first time out. Okay, nobody panicked the first time out, because till I was at the tail end of it, we didn't know it was COVID.
Okay.
So I mean, the first time round, nobody really panicked. By the time they realized it was COVID, it was just me and my husband that knew. And we kept it to the rest of the family, kept it from the rest of the family, gave as much gap as possible, gave the excuse of I'm not feeling well, just let her sleep. So nobody really came near me.
Yeah.
But the second one, everybody panicked. I mean, my brother almost killed me with Dogoyaro. Wow. I drank that thing to the level of itching like crazy.
Does that really work? So all the local agbos, they work?
They do. That's what a majority of the local Nigerians don't have access to any funky thing. That's what they're taking, and it's working. It's effective. They're taking that. Have you heard of something called aboniki?
Yeah.
You take it. You scoop it up. You put it on your tongue, and you let it drip down. In actual fact, this is because we came back from England, and my son came. We came in, and he told me that his throat was paining him. This is even the one that he opened.
Wow.
I actually left it. I just scoop it and put it on your tongue, and leave it there for it to just stay there.
Really?
Then you drink hot water. Yes, it does work. I know a lot of people that it has worked for, but all of this is if it is not a serious case. Don't think that aboniki is going to save you if you have a really bad strain, or if you have a heavy viral load. I tell people it's important that you wear your mask. The first time I caught COVID, I was wearing my mask, and I believe that it possibly reduced my viral load. I didn't get as much as I in my system. And then, when I got home, I gargled, I did my head steam. So there really was not, it's like when a soldier is separated from a battalion, it's easy to kill. So I probably had about the soldier. If I had like the full battalion COVID, who knows? Maybe this will be my 1-year anniversary of being crossing to the other side. Who knows?
God forbid. Yeah, but I know. But the thing is, you wore your mask. And you probably had that because the other person, the guy who sneezed, was not wearing a mask.
It wasn't.
He wasn't wearing a mask.
He didn't even cover his mouth. Do you know, when I think about it, I look at a grown man. I remember him. Was wearing a cream safari suit, dark skin. If I say what part of the country it's from, that they'll call me tribalistic. But you have no manners. If you're going to sneeze, cover your nose, for Christ's sakes. Cover your mouth. Even if there was no COVID, how do you get away?
That was normal practice even before COVID. Yeah.
It's extremely bad behavior.
Okay, so let's talk about the symptoms both times. Whether the exactly the same symptoms that you had the first time and the second time.
No, the second time, nothing, no headache. I didn't have the headache the second time. It just went from my throat. So it was the throat thing I was treating, gargling. I was expelling as much phlegm as possible. I did the head steam regularly. This time round, because it went straight from my throat and my chest was compromised easily, I had to be on antibiotics.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I had to be on antibiotics immediately because, I mean, it wasn't something that was, it was one of the things that kill in COVID is when you get pneumonia. A cold is a virus. The flu is a virus, but there could be a bacterial issue. If there's a bacterial issue, if you've ever had ear, nose, and throat infections, if you've had bronchitis, pneumonia, those things, when they combine with COVID, they can kill. So when you start to cough funny and your phlegm is all funny colored, even by the time I was speaking to my health practitioner, and they just told me, they gave me the name of the antibiotics. Be on this thing immediately. You can't risk it. You sound awful.
Wow. Okay. All right. So no one else around you got infected.
Well, that's the first time round. It's not unlikely that my two children had it, but they just had, because we didn't know it was even COVID. So I know that the first 3 days I was ill, they were coughing and they were expelling phlegm that was discolored, but they were still doing their head stain. They had body pain, but they were not down. I mean, they shook it off within 3 days. So, I mean, the jury's out. We don't know whether they had it or not. By the time I was strong enough to go and get tested, I mean, everybody had recovered.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so I saw one of your posts where you also talked about one of the symptoms being rashes.
That's round 2. One of the things that can happen is when you've had COVID the first time, you may not have the rash, but there's a COVID rash. For some people, it's very itchy.
Okay.
For me, it was itchy. It was itching so badly that I wanted to scratch inside my eyes. Everywhere itched. No antihistamine worked. My friend also had the COVID rash, but he didn't itch. But his own was raised. It was raised. Mine was just, because I'm light skinned, mine was red. It was quite bad. It was quite bad. I took antihistamines like no man's business. Nothing worked. It went about, that took about 10 days before it eventually subsided.
Still talking about COVID now, what would you advise people still? Because the thing is, I think that the major problem is that even in the Western world, there are people who don't believe that COVID is that deadly. A lot of people think that, there are conspiracy theories, that the government is behind it, or there are certain people who are trying to control. For Africa now, the major conspiracy theory is that they are trying to wipe out or reduce the population of Africa. And that's why, they're talking about COVID and the vaccination and all of that. So what would you say to people who still think, COVID is not as deadly, or, there's some sort of conspiracy behind it? And would you advise people to take the vaccine?
I'm going to take the vaccine. The only reason I haven't taken the vaccine is because I came back last week. I'm out of isolation by tomorrow. Nigeria is 7 days, whatever, and I try as much as possible to be law abiding. So I'm taking the vaccine maybe on Wednesday, I think my appointment is. I'm not sure. Maybe on Wednesday. I'm taking the vaccine. Now, I'm taking the vaccine not because I don't have my distrust. I have my distrust because of the time. It takes a long time to develop a vaccine, and this has happened in too short a time. There could be side effects.
Okay.
There could be side effects. People that are hesitant have a right to be hesitant. It's common sense. This is rushed. Okay. This feels like there's a conspiracy. If you look at the COVID situation, it does feel like a conspiracy. All of a sudden, nobody can go out. All of a sudden, we have to take a vaccine. Very soon, we're finding out that some countries are going to have a COVID passport. You cannot travel without vaccines.
True.
It does feel like a conspiracy. It does feel, I mean, to any right-thinking person, it feels like a conspiracy. But look at it this way. What are the options you have? If I had an option where I lived on an island by myself and I can account for everybody being sensible, I would not take the vaccine. But sure. I live in the middle, I'm sorry, of COVIDiots. They are all over the place. People that should have sense, that have no sense.
Yeah, true.
Like the Oga, the person that sneezed on my head, by the way, was an Oga at the airport too. Like the Oga that sneezed on our head. Yes, apparently it was, yes. So really, you have people like that who have no regard for other people's private space, or even they don't have hygiene etiquette. You have people that are careless with their health, and they're very, how do I say, blasé about everything. Mm-hmm. Now, people like that make the world a more dangerous. It's because of idiots like that I will take the vaccine. Because I just want, all I ask in this world is a fighting chance. I believe that life in itself is a battle. So all me I'm asking for is a fighting chance. If the vaccine gives me a fighting chance, I'm going to take it. Having gone through COVID, let me tell you, one of the worst things that can happen to you is to lie down on a bed of illness without any guarantee that you're going to get up. I kept on thinking about this at my will, what's going to happen to the children. Oh, see, this is how I'm not going to see them graduate. Oh, I didn't tell this person I love them. Oh, I was upset with this person. They may still think I'm still angry. When you're thinking your final thoughts when you're that sick on the bed, it puts life into a perspective. True. It is unfortunate that some people are going to pay for their stupidity with their lives. It is unfortunate. And it will be poetic justice if only the COVIDiots died. But they are killing people that actually have sense. That's my issue. If you decide to go and do your aerobics in front of a moving train and you die, I really won't cry for you. But the issue is that they are dragging other people onto the tracks of the coming train. And this COVID thing, I mean, you're in England now, you've heard of the new French lockdown. It's starting again. I was surprised when we got to England I think we came in on the 7th or the 8th. They weren't wearing masks. I thought, oh my God, they're not wearing masks. A majority of people were not wearing masks, and they were walking down the road. On the high streets, they were not wearing masks.
Well, in the UK? Very defiant.
In the UK, yes. I just left London last week. They were not wearing masks. Very few people wear masks. I was surprised. And then I thought, and you know, when we got home, my sister called me and said she had dropped food for us, and she said, my junior sisters called me, sister, you better respect yourself. If they take your picture of you strolled out anyhow, it's £10,000. I was like, what?
So that's what I was just going to say. It's so sad because even with, the fact that you're going to pay a fine if you're caught, people these are the COVIDiots we're talking about that have no regards for COVID.
They have no regard. And they don't care that their carelessness may cost somebody their life. That's not fair. I actually think that is manslaughter of some sort. It's like somebody that has HIV and is sleeping with other people. That is manslaughter of some sort. It's not fair. It's really not fair.
I agree with you, but sadly, I don't know how the government will be able to contain the situation because, truthfully, they don't not take the vaccine.
Well, one of my suppliers in the house, we get them. We use dispenser water. So one of the supply, I said to my supplier that we need dispenser water. Can you bring? I mean, this was in England. Can you supply dispenser water for us? And he said, it's going to be late the next day. I said, no, I have to I have to go and do a test because we're getting ready to come back to Nigeria. I have to go and do a COVID test. He said, I hope you're not going to take the vaccine. I said, oh, you're not taking it? Only no, it's all a conspiracy. This is a full white man who went to one of the best universities. And as far as he's concerned, it's a conspiracy. So when they came and supplied when these people came to supply us the water, I mean, we had like those big canisters. They came and supplied it. I wasn't surprised that these people were not wearing. I just told my children, they collected the water, we disinfected it. And I was a bit worried because we are going to do tests and I can't afford to go and fail tests because if you fail the test, you cannot get a fit to fly certificate. Yeah. I mean, traveling now is such a, you get about 4 or 5 certificates before you can even attempt to travel.
I know.
You know, but so many conspiracies. The honest truth, I don't blame people for the conspiracy. The way this thing started, it looks like one of those films that didn't sell. You know, like a bad case of Matrix. Yeah, you know, those kind of things that you just wake up. I mean, I had to go and do my COVID test at to come back at Boots, the one in Lakeside. I don't know whether you've ever been to Lakeside. It's in East London.
Yeah.
I hadn't been to Lakeside. Last time I was on Lakeside was like 90 or 92. And Lakeside, that is even the car park, people were doing skating. It looked like a horror film. Like everybody had died. The only thing that was open was the Boots, Wilko, the £1 shop, and McDonald's. And even the McDonald's will tell you, take your food and get out.
Yeah,
it looked so deserted. That was like the first time we're going out. You know, and I felt so sad. If you look at it, it does look like a grand conspiracy of something happening. But the way I want us to look at it is this. It does, yes, it bears the semblance of a conspiracy. But are people dying? Yes.
Yes.
Are people getting sick? Yes. Do your actions affect other people? Yes. So for the sake of the other people or family members that you might infect, please be sensible. If you are looking at the big powers that everybody's assuming there are some people that control the world, they meet in one corner, they are this, and that. I don't know them. You think Bill Gates wants to give us all, put something inside our brains and then it will control us? Look, the bottom line, the people in your immediate environment, are you a danger to them without the vaccine? You are. So if it's just for the sake of love and protection of my loved ones, I'm willing to take that risk.
Okay, great.
That would be my submission.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Before we continue, let's just go on a quick break. Okay, welcome guys back. It's still Gist with Essay and our guest is still Debbie Akindele Ojo. She's popularly known as the CEO of Every Woman Shop, yeah? But what you just saw in the short break commercial is her products. Okay, so we're going to be talking a bit about those products now. You can find her on Instagram at Extra Natural Organics or at Every Woman Shop. Okay, so she's going to be telling us a bit about her products. Yeah, so can you tell us about your products, the benefits, and why you decide to start making products for use?
Okay, like I said to you that a healthy lifestyle has been my own personal thing for a long time. Now, the products I make now, there are things I've been using since my 20s. I make my own soap. I make my own cream. I make my own oils, and I make for myself, for family, for friends. Everybody just comes. It's just that it's when I'm good and ready, and if I have, I can give you. So people have been on my case of that. Why don't you make a commercial? Instead of everybody have to wait till they're good and ready to make soap. I have a lot of friends that have or especially children that have issues with the skin, and they use the black soap that I make. So it was always something I was going to do. I took it seriously I think in 96. I almost did a commercial in 96, but then I lost my mom. I just kind of lost the zeal for it. And then I thought it was I think that was a life defining year. Many things went wrong. Then I started doing Every Woman. Every Woman was supposed to be something that, okay, I was depressed, my mom had died. So I did Every Woman. That took all of my time. Then I forgot about it. But I make my own soap. I've always made my own soap. And one of the things that people talk about, people say to me, is skin. Oh, your skin is really great. Your skin doesn't age. Your skin hasn't changed. And I say to them is that I'm careful about. I'm not saying you should eat soap, but if it's not safe enough to eat, I wouldn't put it in my mouth. So I'm very particular about preservatives. I'm very particular about the products that enter, because I believe that the skin, and this is not even belief, this is science. The skin is also a delivery system. Anything that goes in your skin will get into your bloodstream. So I'm very, very particular about that. And then another advantage for me is that my uncle is a traditional healer, and I interned with him for like a year and a half when I was 25, 24. So he taught me a lot of things. So I do know how to make these things. But I was learning not to become a traditional healer. I was learning. Well, to be honest, let me confess, I really wanted to become a traditional healer with a twist, but my mom was against it.
Okay.
So, but I did. The knowledge is standing me in good stead now.
Wow, it's funny the things that we take for granted. Yeah, I know that my mom too is particular about using natural stuff, and growing up, we look down on all those things like, oh please, I don't want to use black soap. What's that? It doesn't smell nice. You get me? Shea butter doesn't smell nice. I only started buying into shea butter after I had an accident in 2012, and that was what my mom was using, on my skin. And because I'd used it for a long time, I was indoors for about a month or two, getting treated from the accident and all of that. And my skin just transformed. I was using just shea butter. The only thing is that it made me dark, but my skin was beautiful. And so I stopped it again afterwards because, the smell is not really nice and all that. So the products that you make, how do you they are modified in some sort of way? You don't use preservatives, I know, but what about the things that people complain about, like the smell and
I use shea butter. Shea butter is a base for our body butters.
Okay.
But there's no way. I mean, this is the same color bean ever. No, not the same thing. So the mind don't darken, because shea butter has to be, you have to balance it. Shea butter on its own is possible. It can make you dark. Shea butter with some oils combined will not make you dark.
Okay.
There's a lot of, like, palm kernel oil. If it's organically produced without the dark one, is highly, I don't know why people always make noise of a dark one. It's just it's not as finely produced. There are some oils that you combine with shea butter that will make your skin as luscious as it will not get dark. Okay. Impossible. But on its own, and if you insist on using shea butter on its own, use it at night.
Okay.
Use it at night. If you use it at night alone, you won't get dark. It's just that for me, that smell is a bit of, it's not on, really. Let's be honest. The smell of shea butter is not very, it's not something you want on your skin. But if you balance it with some other natural oils, you'll be surprised. I mean, mine smells really nice. Mine smells really, because and go on.
Yeah, what skin conditions does it really treat?
Okay, my body butter and hair butter. It started because I went and joined keto. People were doing keto. Me too. I said, oh, let's try this keto, for the simple reason that I love eggs and I love butter, and I can't drink. It's not healthy to eat eggs and butter. Then there was this guy that came and said you can eat eggs and butter. So I thought, that's heaven to me. Okay. So I joined keto and I developed something called a keto rash. That's one of the most horrible things that can happen. It means that your body secretes ketones and is acidic and it starts to melt your skin. I had the rash I had was like if you took a baby and used scoring powder to scrub their body.
Wow.
And then in between my thighs, everything peeled off and became like open wounds.
What? That must have been horrible.
That was more than horrible. That was when I sat down and I remembered my training. I sat down and formulated my shea butter. And when I formulated my shea butter, the skin between my thighs, everything healed. Color became as even as my face. Then I just thought, then I made some and I gave to some family members. And everybody was like, okay, yeah, come and give us shea. Then I would make and then give everybody. Then, oh, I don't have. Oh, it has finished. Then during about the year before COVID, I've been saying that, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I'm really looking for, because I really love the product. And I suspend mine with some essential oils that preserves them. I mean, let me give an example. I was in the house in London and then I picked up the one I left there about 3 or 4 years ago. It is perfect. And there's no preservative. It is still perfect. I was still giving some to my friend's sister that came to see me because there's another version of it. There's one we have called Intense. It was devised for somebody that has them. You know, that when you get older, some people have tremors and they can't sleep. So they have tremors and they can't sleep, and then severe body pain and arthritis. So I did the same shea butter, but I added some things to it to deal with body pain and that tremor and menthol crystals. So that one is when you use that one. I don't know whether you know this pain-killing thing, painkillers that when you rub on your body is hot and cold at the same time.
No, I haven't heard of that before.
Oh yeah, if you use most of the topical pain relieving ointments now, they have something called menthol crystals.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
So I have one that works for that, and then my son decided I was going to use this on his hair, and presto, there came Afro. It was so funny. So now, even though it's supposed to be for the intense body pain and to moisturize skin that has body pain, I have a lot of people just buying it just to grow their hair. It's just a great product, and everything is healthy.
And kids can use it.
Oh no, not Intense. Intense is it's like, no, I wouldn't advise. Kids can from maybe 10.
Okay.
Below 10. Because it's for severe body pain. A child shouldn't have that kind of. If they do have that severe body pain, they will have to use it.
Okay. Yeah, but the other products for like dry skin, itchy skin, and all that, kids can use them.
Most of my customers are for children, especially because it clears all the rashes that children have.
Okay. Okay, that's really great. So before we round up, can you give us some tips on healthy living? Okay, so let's talk about healthy tips for skincare, healthcare, as like food, and mental health.
Mental health for women. Reduce cortisol, the stress hormone, the amount you have in your body. You can do that naturally. That's enough sleep, enough water, good diet, no caffeine. Try and eliminate caffeine. Try and eliminate stimulants, unnatural stimulants. Reduce alcohol. Cancel it. No smoking. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
If all of that still does not work, because when you get to your late 40s or early 40s, cortisol is going to be natural. You will just develop in your body. Get adaptogenic herbs, things like ashwagandha. Pop a few. I mean, you can put it in tea. You can pop a few tablets once you feel that you're on the run. Once you feel like you're on the warpath, you're abusing everybody, you're in a bad mood, you're snapping, your cortisol is high.
Okay.
So you do that, and when I find out I'm like that, I go and find my ashwagandha. I'm never without my ashwagandha. I wouldn't even travel without it, because it's like a chill pill. You relax.
Oh, okay.
Then drink loads of water. Water is your best friend. Drink water. The last thing I do every night, which my doctor used to abuse me for because it affects my sleep, is I need a complete cup of water. That's I don't know. I crave it. All of a sudden, this thing that doctors used to abuse me for, now I'm hearing that's the best thing I can do. It helps the heart do something. I said, but I thought they said I was not disciplined for not being able to withstand that. I just can't. I need to drink water last thing at night. I don't know why. I'm willing to wake up 3 times and go and pee, but I need my water.
I was just going to say
but now I'm hearing that it's the best thing I can do.
Wow.
I'm hearing now it's the best thing I can do. Apparently it helps the heart and all sorts.
Because I don't like getting up so frequently at night, if I take water last thing, I can wake up to 5 times. So what I do is,
for me, I'm willing to risk it.
You're what?
I'm willing to risk it. I'm willing to wake up at night because sometimes I find that my throat wants to close up by itself if I don't drink my water. So I need the water. And then another thing, be kind to your skin. You know, a lot of people, the amount of makeup people are wearing right now for me is alarming.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure that your makeup is not lead based, especially because it's on your skin and the skin is light.
Yeah.
Ideally, your skin is an indicator of your health. Your nails, they are an indicator of your health. So you need to know what is going on. If your nails are a funny color, you need to know why. Your organs are speaking to you through your skin. They are speaking to you through your eyes. They are speaking to you through your tongue. Even your teeth, they are clear indicators of what is going on inside of you. So for me, the amount of makeup that people are wearing now, it's alarming. And I think it will have consequences. But just that, you know us, when we start a trend, we go crazy with it. I'm not against makeup artists. I have nothing against makeup artists. I don't wear makeup for 2 reasons. I don't like them. 1. 2, I don't know how to use them. So it could be said that because I don't know how to use them is why I don't like them. But I'm very careful. And if I must wear makeup, I try to get things that are There are companies that they don't use talc. A lot of these powders, there's a lot of talc in them. Talc is dangerous. It's been linked to cancer. Johnson & Johnson has been sued for their powder. Talc is dangerous. So you need to find alternatives. Be informed. Make healthy choices. Make healthy choices for yourself. Okay, let me give you an example. We just made fried rice in the house. My cook and I are busy having a fight because he wants Maggi. I'm like, no, I'm cooking it. I am not putting Maggi. There's no Maggi in this. And we cooked it. It's nice. There's nothing wrong with it. So he says, but it will not be sweet. So I said, okay, fine. You want that sweet taste? No wahala. Give me date powder. I added date powder to fried rice. It tasted delicious. Because Maggi has sugar. That's why everybody's craving it. But there are alternatives. There are healthy alternatives to this thing.
So what's the alternative?
So where possible, just
to powder.
The alternative to powder is, it will sound drastic. Why not try living healthy? Because if you lived healthy, you will not need powder. You can wear naked skin. Mm-hmm. The goal for every woman is to be able to wear naked skin. Look at masks. Masks have disgraced all of us now. You can go and wear your mask now. Your mask will come black. You look ridiculous. You can't. Yeah. So in fact, I don't even know lip gloss. What's the point? The thing will now look like, you look like one of those things that from a French play. You know those things that they use that don't talk, like those memes. So there's no. I think the goal for every woman is to have skin that's clear enough that I can wear naked skin. Naked skin is always the goal for me. If you can wear naked skin, then you're good. Then you can explain if there's a pimple on your face, why. Oh, I ate something. It must be that. Oh, I drank something. It must be that.
Okay, so one last question. Yeah, I've heard you speak about earthing. And I'm curious, what's earthing all about? And, what are the benefits?
Earthing is when you draw energy from nature itself.
Okay.
Let me show you this. Can you see this?
Yeah.
That's a shungite bracelet. Shungite is a mineral that's found somewhere in Russia. It's one of the things that block EMF, electromagnetic waves, from passing through your body. All these are technology. So I like crystals. I collect crystals. You keep crystals around you. They ground you. I think what earthing does is sometimes you are depleted in energy. It's like a battery that has gone down. You stay on the earth, if possible, and I prefer this, stay on the earth that is earth itself, soil. What I like to do is stand on the earth, pour water over my feet, let the water go seep into the ground while over my feet, and stand under the sun. You know, you can also charge water.
Okay,
oh yeah,
I didn't know
but
that.
in a glass. Oh no, just take water in a glass. You can put some oranges in it if you want, or just leave the water by itself. Put it on the earth from morning till night and drink it. It is fully charged. The earth can charge you. You know, it says from the earth we come, and from there we're going to go back. These are the kind of things that helped during COVID. They helped a friend of mine. I mean, you get your vitamin D, but you can take strength from the earth. That's why, you know, Buddhist monks, these sages, if you notice, they do a lot of walking. They barely wear shoes.
True.
They walk on the seashores. They barely wear shoes. It's just getting, what the earth does is that because the earth provides nourishment and from inside it grows life. You put a dead thing into the earth, and from inside it, life comes through. So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to penetrate. You're trying to penetrate the life-giving force in the earth. You're trying to breathe it in, absorb it. That's why you will find that people get away to places to go and meditate. They sit on mountains. They just sit there and they don't move. And you can see serenity. You know, earthing actually heals diseases.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. It actually heals cancer. There are people that they have to be put out in the sun. Yes, they have to be put in the earth. To take them to a garden between 11 and 1 o'clock. I know a doctor that was treating somebody, Professor Kogwe. She was treating her cousin, I believe. She used to take her out, I think, 11 to 1 o'clock every day, just for the sun, because it has the power to heal. There are so many natural alternatives we have. And like I said, they're cheap.
I'm definitely going to try earthing. Thank God, you know, the weather is friendly now, you know, over here. So I'll definitely give it a try. It just reminds me of, like, even when you're in Nigeria, you go to the beach. A lot of us take our feet, shoes off and, you know, just soak in the water on the beach and all that. So,
and you know, it's instinctive. Yeah. We don't even think about it. It's not like anybody told us. It's instinctive.
Yeah. I'll try earthing, and then I'll try the glass of water on.
Try the glass of water.
Yeah, I'll try the glass of water thing and see how that works. So before I let you go quickly, please tell me, what lesson have you learned in the last 1 year, and what advice would you give to the younger generation based on that lesson?
Live intentionally. The way people are dying now, don't leave anything unsaid.
Okay.
Don't leave anything undone. This moment that we are in really could be the last moments. So just live intentionally. Nothing unsaid, nothing undone. So that, God forbid, there are no regrets.
Okay. Thank you so much, Auntie Debbie, for coming on Gist with SA. It was such a great pleasure to have you. I've definitely learned a lot, and there are some other questions that I have, but we've run out of time, so I'll take those questions backstage. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone that joined us on YouTube and Facebook. Until next time on Gist with SA, remember, stay positive, stay happy, stay mended. Bye.